Hey guys, what's going on? It's Manuel Godoy, and I am here today at my house talking to you. Please bear with me. I need to make sure that I have everything available so I can teach you guys all this cool stuff. Let's see. I just want to put that link right there. All right, we're good to go. So, how you guys doing today? What's going on? It's Manuel Godoy, and I'm here. I'm talking about Crowdfunding 101. All right. So, one of the biggest questions I get all the time is, what are you gonna do? Like, how do you raise money? How do I get people to give me money so that I can make my book? All right. Now, it's a crazy concept in general, right? You go and say, hey, I need you, the public, to give me money so that I can make my book that eventually you'll be able to buy. It's a crazy concept, but it works for thousands of people a year online. It's worked for me. I've raised $90,000 in 2 years in 3 different campaigns regarding my comic books, children's books, and now an animated pilot. So I'm going to be talking about the 3 major platforms in which you can raise money, how to raise money on those platforms, the pros and cons of those platforms, and anything else that might be related to that. Now, one thing I do want to let everybody know is there is a super chat option available if you want to use super chat to donate. And you could also leave your comments on the right, and I will definitely read them out loud and then answer them, okay? Because I want everybody to get the answers to the questions that they have available for them, okay? So let's begin with Gofundme, okay? Everybody knows Gofundme, especially in the Black community. We see a lot of Gofundme campaigns all the time. And basically, Gofundme is a pretty solid way of raising funds, but not necessarily for creative projects. See, GoFundMe is one of those platforms in which you will get zero, and I mean zero traffic from the GoFundMe community, okay? GoFundMe is dominated by people who are trying to deal with a tragedy, all right? So we're talking about charities. We're talking about people having injuries and need some medical bills paid or some kind of thing like that. It's really a pity party in GoFundMe. So if you're trying to raise money for a creative project, you're going to have a very hard time getting anything from a GoFundMe community. You're more likely just going to get donations from people in general, right? Now, ways to get people to actively participate is to share. And I mean, share your campaign like there's no tomorrow on social media. When I raised $3,000, right, I raised $3,000 on GoFundMe. That was the first time I ever did a crowdfunding event. I raised that $3,000 by sharing my campaign, or people looking at my campaign shared my campaign a total of 1.4 thousand times. Okay, that means that I had 1,400 shares on my GoFundMe campaign to raise $3,000. Okay, so that's a lot of work in order to get that out there, But it worked out. Everything was good, and I raised that money. What I would suggest for you, as somebody who's looking at GoFundMe as one of those services that you want to use, is first be very careful about GoFundMe, because they really messed up the way they do the donations before. Before, they used to just take a flat fee. They would say, like, we're taking 8% of your donation as administration fees. And that was nice. I like that system. It was simple. You didn't need an extra step. It was simple to do. Now they have a tip-based system saying they don't charge anyone anything and you should give them a tip. But the problem is in that situation is it adds an extra step to donating. And if it's one thing we learned about people donating to campaigns, the less steps, the better. Okay, the less amount of steps they have to take, the more likely the conversion rate will be. So that's a huge detriment to people actually donating to your campaign, something you might want to be careful about. Hey, thanks a lot, J-Dog. Appreciate that. Well, my patrons, hey, I'm about to release issue 3, and I'm about to release Sons of Nibiru on Patreon. Okay, so that's about to be released on Patreon any day now. So it's probably this week, next week coming up. It's also going to see some new animations as well. So GoFundMe, I would not suggest using GoFundMe if you're planning on doing a creative project unless you're planning on raising a small amount of money, okay? The smaller the better when it comes to GoFundMe, because you're not going to get a lot of traffic unless somebody in the media covers you. Now let's talk about Patreon. All right, Patreon is a place for artists. Artists actually dominate Patreon, all right? Writers, not so much, but artists definitely dominate Patreon. So if you're an artist, you might want to look at Patreon the most, or you're a YouTube influencer, right? And that's something that's also great for you. Patreon is a system in which people subscribe every single month or every single item you create in order to basically get you to continue to make that stuff. What they're trying to do is supplement you enough that you could walk away from your 9-to-5 job and focus entirely on your profession. And if your profession is needed enough, then you'll definitely make that support. Patreon is by far the hardest to grow out of all of them. Okay, it's literally the hardest to grow out of every single thing you could possibly think of. Patreon takes forever, but Patreon is also the most sustainable out of all of the other crowdfunding sites, because I've seen people who get enough patrons and stuff over like 2-3 years where now they have 800 patrons or something, 1,000 patrons, and they're making close to $6,000 to $8,000 a month, a month from donations alone, not including people actually buying their products or people paying to go to their events or their income from any other source, just straight up from Patreon subscribers. Okay, so Patreon is an amazing platform for people who are looking to make content, and looking on that long-term commitment. Now, one thing I will say is this: you have a huge advantage when using Patreon if you make a lot of content quickly, okay? So if you make like a weekly thing, like, hey, I make 5 pages a week on my web comic or whatever, Patreon's amazing for that, because Patreon dominates in that specific field. The more you can create, the more you're building that constant need for your content, the more likely you are to get subscribers. The next thing is it's going to be extremely hard to get patrons if you don't have anything exclusive to them. All right, so you got to offer exclusive perks to a patron, something they've never seen, something that can't be seen unless you're a subscriber, like a special comic. A lot of people like using NSFW content, or what's it called? I don't care what you do to grow your business. Make sure that you're doing it and you're getting your business grown, okay? Because people who don't have anything at all can't influence anything, all right? And we want to make sure that we want to become influencers and actually out there making what we love without any breaks, all right? Last thing I want to talk about is Kickstarter. Kickstarter is the big boy, okay? This is where the serious people come in. It costs a lot of money to get a Kickstarter campaign going. Costs a lot of money to get the press coverage you need. Takes a lot of time and commitment, and it's only over a short period of time. We're talking about 30 days to get it done. All right, we're talking about large amounts of money that's being raised over a short period of time. All right, so we have to hustle our asses off to get that money in. So the first things I want to say about Kickstarter is make some press releases. Make some press releases early. Okay, we're talking about 2 weeks before your Kickstarter, start having some press releases ready for your stuff with a link to your campaign, and see if you can get some coverage before the campaign even begins so they can drop it on like the first, second week. That's always great. Talk to influencers out there who are specifically in your space. See if you can get on their good side, see if they'll give a shout out, or see if you can pay to have them give you a promotion, okay? There's nothing wrong with doing paid placements. It's actually normal business, all right? So definitely look for that, all right? Next thing, viral ads. You got to make ads that freaking stand out, that make people click on it and talk and whatever. Facebook and Instagram are all about algorithms. The more engagement, the better. Controversy sells. If you can somehow throw some controversy out there in your production of whatever the heck you're making, you're going to have much more success on that ad than you will any other, okay? So that's very important. One thing I will say is don't spend a lot of money on Facebook and Instagram ads. Spend a small, consistent amount, but don't spend a lot. The reason why you don't want to spend a lot is because no matter what happens in the middle of the campaign, you're not going to get that many donations. All right. Middle of campaign's dead no matter what happens, unless you get like a media post from some huge company. You're most likely going to have a very dead middle. When I raised the $60,000 I needed for the animation, I had a shitload of money at the beginning and at the end. In the middle, it was dead as hell. All right. I think I raised $10,000 over the entire course of the middle. I raised $20,000 in the first 10 days of the campaign, and I raised close to $35,000 in the last 10 days of the campaign. Okay. So I really think the length of the campaign doesn't really matter. If you do a long campaign or a short campaign, everything's going to happen at the beginning and at the end, right? The people who are most avid about your product will be at the beginning. The people who don't want to be left out are at the end, okay? And you're really going to be able to influence that if you hedge your bets properly and keep reaching out to the media. Reaching out to the media is a consistent thing you're going to have to do throughout the entire Kickstarter process, all right? One post from a well-noted company can freaking just totally blow your campaign out of proportion, okay? We got a post in the Shade Room, and that post in the Shade Room got us close to $14,000 by itself, okay? That one post on Instagram, okay? So be careful. Definitely do your homework, and make sure that your campaign page on Kickstarter is at least as pretty as other successful Kickstarter campaigns, okay? It better not be a couple of sketches and stuff, and you're saying, hey, give me $20,000 to make this, all right? Nobody gonna give you that, okay? It's all about professionalism on Kickstarter. You gotta really show that you're worth it, all right? So now that I've talked about all three platforms, right? Gave some advice on them. You know, I didn't give too much. I gave just enough so you guys to understand. I want to hear from you. Any questions you have about Kickstarter, about what you plan on doing to raise money. I know a lot of people who follow me tend to be writers themselves or artists and want to create stuff themselves. So feel free to leave some questions in the comment section right over there. I'll give it a second. All right, we got nothing here, so I'm going to roll out. See you guys later. Have a great day.